So, Fantastic Four First Steps is finally out, making the debut of the Fantastic Four in the MCU. I thought the movie was good, but it is not as good as Superman. Anyone who says this movie is better than Superman, I will find you and I will fight you. Okay, I'm not here to review the movie because I don't do movie reviews on this channel, except for the time I did a review for Deadpool and Wolverine, and the time I did a review for X-Men 97. One thing about this movie I will say I really didn't like was Silver Surfer, and I just want to rant about this character in the movie. Now, the problem with Silver Surfer in this movie is that it's not the main Norn Rad version. This is the female Shall-Bal version, which I don't like. And no, it's not because I think it's woke. I'm not one of those people. Now, I know there's gonna be people saying, "What's the problem? The Shall-Bal Silver Surfer is a character from the comics." I've been seeing a lot of people saying that this isn't a gender swap, and anyone who complains about having a female Silver Surfer is a fake comic book fan for not knowing about Shalla-Bal's Silver Surfer. Yes, Shalla-Bal is a character from the comics, and the version of her that's the Silver Surfer is in the comics. But her as the Silver Surfer is a very minor character. She has a total of 5 appearances in the comics, and that was from an alternate universe, Earth X. Anyone who says you're a fake comic fan for not knowing about this version of Silver Surfer is actually the fake comic fan, since if they actually read the comics, they know that this character is barely in them. None of the defenders of the female Silver Surfer in this movie have read the comics. They've just seen an out-of-context panel with her in it, and maybe they saw an article that explained her character that they just glimpsed at. These people piss me off the way they act like they know who this character was in the comics, and act like the only people who don't like the female version of Silver Surfer are grifters who haven't read comics. Let me remind you that the Shalla-Bal version of Silver Surfer has only 5 appearances, and in those 5 appearances, she's not really a character. Just because it happened in the comics doesn't mean it should happen in a movie, especially when the character is barely in the comics. There are more instances in the comics where Sue Storm is attracted to Namor than there are appearances of the female Silver Surfer. Does that mean we need to see Mr. Fantastic get cucked by Namor in the movies? Even fucking Paul has more comic appearances than Shalla-Bal Silver Surfer. That's how irrelevant of a character she is. Let me also remind you that she never was Silver Surfer in the main Marvel universe, only in an alternate universe. I've seen some fucking idiots' response to this is that this movie also takes place in an alternate universe, while literally everything about the Fantastic Four and characters related to them is the same. What makes this universe different from the main MCU is that the Fantastic Four exist when they don't exist in Earth 616. Galactus is how he normally is in this movie, so what's the point in changing Silver Surfer? Also, in the universe the female Silver Surfer comes from, Reed Richards is Doctor Doom and Franklin Richards is Galactus. Shalla-Bal in this movie is absolutely nothing like the character from the comics. She's practically a gender-swapped Norn Rad, using the name of an obscure comic character. In the comics, Shalla-Bal is turned into the Silver Surfer by Franklin Richards alongside her husband, who was already the Silver Surfer, Norn Rad, and they are both made the heralds of Franklin Richards. But Shalla dies not that far after. In the movie, she is given Norn Rad's origin of becoming the herald of Galactus to spare their planet the Zen Law. Although, in this movie, Norn Rad doesn't exist, and instead of Shalla having a husband, she has a daughter. I guess they didn't want a female character's motivation to be dependent on a man?
Oh yeah, Shalla-Bal has been a Silver Surfer in the comics, in an alternate universe future where every character had massive changes, and even within that specific comic, she's an incredibly minor character among a cast of just about every Marvel hero, villain, and side character. And even then, she isn't the Silver Surfer in the comic. She was transformed to have similar powers to her love Norn Rad so that they could be reunited. He's the Silver Surfer in the comic, and she's acting as his partner. And almost immediately after appearing, she's killed, and the majority of her role is Norn Rad mourning her. If this movie had decided it was going to make Reed Richards Doctor Doom, this idiotic argument would make literally as much sense to use as a rebuttal. There have been so many time travel, alternate future, and multiverse stories that pretty much everything has been in the comics at this point. By this logic, they could have made Aunt freaking May Galactus' herald in this movie, and it'd be just as much from the comics.
She's just lame in this movie. Her origin wasn't incorporated well, and I didn't buy her redemption. I've seen the cope that the real Silver Surfer is out there, and they're just saving him. They probably will introduce Norn Rad later, because, spoiler alert, Shall-Bal dies in the movie. Well, that would be awesome to introduce him, if they haven't already just adapted his biggest story but replaced him with another character. The Coming of Galactus was the introduction to Silver Surfer and is a great story for him. So I don't really know how they would introduce Silver Surfer, since First Steps basically adapted that story without him. Would they just do Galactus again? He's already been defeated. It would just be lame for Norn Rad to be introduced and give him his origin after they already gave it to someone else. That would just be retreading a storyline already done with an alternate version of Silver Surfer. I guess the reason why they didn't use the main Silver Surfer is because Rise of the Silver Surfer already did that. I think that's just stupid. Just because an older movie used a character doesn't mean we have to never use them again. It sucks how in Rise of the Silver Surfer we got a good version of Silver Surfer and a terrible version of Galactus. And in First Steps, we got a good version of Galactus and a terrible version of Silver Surfer. I've also heard people say they didn't use the main Silver Surfer because they wanted the movie to focus on the Fantastic Four and not on Silver Surfer. Maybe. This is just a thought. Don't use Galactus for the first Fantastic Four movie. This goes into a problem I have where I felt this movie should have been a sequel. Galactus should have been the villain of the last movie of a Fantastic Four trilogy. I felt like the Fantastic Four should have been the main characters of the multiverse saga. Introduce them in Phase 4 with their own movie, give them a sequel in Phase 5, and have the third movie where they fight Galactus be the first movie of Phase 6, like how First Steps was. This could also make us care more about the world the Fantastic Four live in, since seeing this world in two other movies makes us care more about it being destroyed by Galactus. If they wanted to not use Silver Surfer, they could literally use any other Galactus herald, like Firelord, Airwalker, or Terrax. And if they wanted to use a female herald, they could have used Frankie Ray or Stardust. They could have done what Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes did, where Galactus had 4 heralds that all represent the 4 elements: water, fire, earth, and air. Literally, they had no reason to use Shalla-Bal in this movie. Using her is literally an excuse to have a one-off character. Literally, the only reason they made Silver Surfer a female in this movie is so Johnny can flirt with her. Anyways, that's the end of my rant. I hope you enjoyed it. I feel like this would be more of a divisive video since there are a lot of people who defend the choice to use Shalla-Bal's Silver Surfer in the movie. Hopefully the people who watch my videos are smart and understand nuance. Alright, thanks for watching.